The job of investigating Jewish terrorism falls to a division of Shin Bet called the Department for Counterintelligence and Prevention of Subversion in the Jewish Sector, known more commonly as the Jewish Department.
And in the chat, the neologist says that there's no other group that is, as consistently dishonest as Jews. You don't have any basis for that. No other group stoops to the level of criminality and dishonesty on a constant basis that harms others and benefits themselves. That Jews, you just have absolutely no empirical basis. Jews commit fewer crimes than almost every other group, right? Jews are less likely to commit violent crime in the United States than any other group. Jews pay far more in taxes in the United States and other first world countries than they take out in social service spending. Right? Jews are far more entrepreneurial. They create jobs, they create wealth, they create scientific and entrepreneurial advantages that the non-Jews get to benefit from. One example is Jewish scientists gave the United States the nuclear weapon that ended World War II, right? And many people have made the argument that if the United States did not drop nuclear weapons on Japan, up to 2 million American servicemen would have died in the invasion and conquest of that nation. So it's definitely in the best interests of almost any nation to have a high IQ group that consistently pays far more in taxes than it takes out in social welfare spending, that makes scientific and entrepreneurial advances, that drives the economy forward and enables you to have higher quality weapons, higher quality technology, higher quality medical care. I mean, there's all the difference in the world between a good doctor and a great doctor, right? I saw, when I was bedridden with chronic fatigue syndrome, I saw about 50 different doctors. I saw some affirmative action doctors. I saw some great doctors. But then I met this woman who said, you need to see my very smart Jewish psychiatrist. And in large part, right, I threw in with this woman, right? I broke up with another woman that I was seeing at the time, threw in with this one woman so I could go see this one very smart Jewish psychiatrist, Dr. Daniel Goldwyn in Orlando, Florida. And he got me on a medication that completely turned my life around. I was bedridden largely for 6 years, and he gave me a medication, Nardil, that turned my life around. And I got to enjoy at least 2/3 of a normal life from then on. So you want excellence, right? And the one characteristic that most accords with excellence is IQ. And then the other characteristic that most accords with excellence is a particular type of personality that is best suited for excellence in this domain. So you have socially effective personalities and you have socially ineffective personalities. On average, people with a higher verbal IQ are going to be more successful and pay more in taxes than people with a below average verbal IQ. Verbal IQ is more important for success in life than visual spatial IQ. People who are more outgoing will be happier and more effective in life, generally speaking, than people who are introverted. People who are conscientious are going to be more effective and more affluent than people lacking in conscientiousness. People low in neuroticism are going to be happier and more effective than people high in neuroticism. People who are a little bit more agreeable than disagreeable will generally be more pleasant to be around and will be more pro-social. So there are socially effective forms of personality, and there are higher and lower forms of intelligence, and it is verbal intelligence and socially effective personalities which really make people rise to higher and higher levels of success.
It is dwarfed, both in size and prestige, by Shin Bet's Arab department, the division charged mostly with combating Palestinian terrorism, and in the event, most incidents of settler violence.
So the neologist says the U.S. is in almost complete collapse after 60 years being in control of the ruling class and the institutions. All right, if you think the United States is in almost complete collapse, you are completely deluded. You effectively live in a cave, and you are yearning for some civil war among white people. You are yearning for the apocalypse because the rest of your life is a failure, right? You don't want to face up to the failures in your own life, so you would rather isolate yourself from reality, effectively live in a cave, and pray for the apocalypse, which you think will provide ultimate redemption for the pain and frustration and constant losing that you have endured in life. The United States is the most powerful nation in the world. It has been the most powerful nation in the world since World War II. It's been the most powerful economy in the world since the 1880s. over the next 50 years, the United States is on course to be even more dominant economically and militarily in the world than it is now. And yet you think the most powerful nation in the world on course to be even more dominant is collapsing, right? You're completely removed from reality, but I understand why you are so strongly incentivized to remove yourself from reality, because your life sucks. Your life is painful. You're not connected to people. You're not thriving. You're not moving ahead in your career. You're not moving ahead in your community. You have no honor in your profession. You have no honor in your community. You are disconnected. You're consistently losing at life. You are constantly enduring humiliation. And so you are propping yourself up with these absurd conspiracy theories completely removed from reality and yearning for some ultimate cataclysm, which you believe will then justify that you were right all along. Because, yeah, even though your life sucks, right, at least you see through the BS. And that is how you're propping yourself up. And that's how you're enduring or your failure. And it's much more pleasing for you to live in the delusion of your conspiracy theories than to face up to why your life bounces from humiliation to failure to more humiliation to more failure, right? Because you hold yourself up with, well, yeah, my life totally sucks. I'm just bouncing from humiliation to humiliation. I can't get anything going with my profession, with my love life, with my standing in the community. I'm of no good to anyone, so I have no rational basis to have any esteem for myself, but at least I see through the BS. And it is that delusion that provides you comfort at night.
Torching vehicles, cutting down olive groves fall under the jurisdiction of the police, who tend to ignore them. When the Jewish Department investigates more serious terrorist threats, it is often stymied from the outset, and even its successes have sometimes been undermined by judges and politicians sympathetic to the settler cause.
Yeah, and why would it be undermined? Because it's seen as being against the group interest.